Hey, what's up, lifelong learners? This is your boy, Mr. Hang again. Today's video, we're gonna talk about not the best cameras for vlogging, but the best tools for vlogging. So the best tools for 2019 would be 1, your cell phone. 2, some kind of action camera. 3, a camcorder. Or 4, some kind of DSLR type or mirrorless type camera that you can use to vlog. And I'm not going to talk about any compact cameras. They just don't have enough features. Along with good image quality of the video or photo, you need good audio quality to make good content. So let's dive in to the first thing. So the first thing I want to talk about are cell phones. And there are a few things that you will love, you will hate, and debate. The first thing that you'll love about vlogging with your cell phone is going to be that it is so lightweight. I mean, I just slap my phone on here, slap it into this rig just like that, plug in my audio, and I am ready to go. Vlogging with your phone is probably the most recommended thing to do if you're like a beginner. All you have to do is just get the right tools to plug into your phone, like the audio jack for my iPhone X, the microphone, and a little tripod, this thing, a clamp. And this clamp is special because I was able to put a cold shoe right here, that cold shoe right there. You're able to plug a cold shoe and screw on there, and then you will have yourself something that will hold your nice handy dandy microphone on top of your vlogging tool. Boom, right there. Nice, simple, easy, and which brings me to the next point. It is familiar. You don't have to go fiddling around learning anything new because you're completely comfortable with your phone. Shoot from the back-facing camera. Of course, obviously, the back-facing camera is always going to be better than the front-facing camera. The next thing that you'll love actually, about vlogging with a phone is that it is friendly. People will just come up to you and be like, "Oh, hey, can I be in your vlog? Are you a vlogger?" And people just feel less intimidated when you walk around with something like this, compared to as if you were to walk around with something like this, right? So that's just something to think about. The psychology of people around you while you're vlogging, because when you're getting those looks, then you know you probably went a little bit too big. But then again, some of you guys might like that because you get that look and you're like, yeah, I'm doing something right, you know, I'm vlogging. The next good thing about this vlogging setup using your cell phone is that it has really good battery life. I mean, your cell phone lasts you pretty much all day, right? It's something you already have, and all you have to do is just buy a tripod, a clamp, and something that can record better audio than just your phone microphone. Now let's talk about the things that you would probably hate. The thing that you would probably hate most is that, especially if you're like a little bit more advanced than just a beginner, a beginner wouldn't mind this as much, but for someone who likes to get clean audio because they don't want to hear the noise of traffic in the background and all that, what you would do is you would get a shotgun mic so that the shotgun mic would point directly at you and you would catch yourself speaking in a clear voice. But if you just don't have a connection at all to this, and let's say you don't have your microphone and you're just going vlogging with this, which is viable, if your phone picks up audio really well, it's totally worth it to just not even go with a microphone. Walking through that rain. That Taiwan rain is relentless. The next thing you'll hate about vlogging with a phone is that there's auto exposure, auto audio, and auto white balance. A lot of things are just auto on there unless you buy a third-party app for your phone, such as Mavis Pro, Filmic Pro, or even Premiere Rush. And if you're planning to get Premiere Rush, there's a link down below for you guys to check out. And all the links for the tools that you see I have here, the accessories for the phone, they'll be in the links below as well for you guys to check out if you want to. If everything is so auto, a lot of things, a lot of your look or the color, you might not be happy with it, because when you're backlit and then you have like just your silhouette and you really want your face and you're not getting it, that's where you would need like a third-party app to help you get the better image, or the image that you're trying to get. The biggest disadvantage is that this thing does not have interchangeable lenses, but if you're gonna buy like adapters and clips and all that and put your lenses on here, I guess you're trying to go small, but at the same time, you know, it adds up. There's stuff to carry with you that you might not want to carry around because you want to go with a really light setup. I normally go with this kind of setup when I know I just want something light and I want to capture images and I don't want to have to think too hard about a lot of button pressing or anything. Everything is just very, very familiar because I use my phone on a day-to-day basis. If you're a beginner, your best bet is to start with your phone and then just get a few accessories. Some things that you can debate are the video quality. When you shoot video quality in really good lighting, video quality on the phone is still viable and it's great. It looks good. So you might not need a fancy DSLR or anything like that. It's a debatable thing because some people are like, oh, I can't color grade this and that. Yeah, but you're like on a different end, but I'm talking to the people who are beginning here. And the other thing is that it doesn't look as professional. Now everyone wants to look fancy with their gear, but at the same time, when you look professional, you draw attention. All right, so unfortunately I have to walk myself back to my car with my friend Eric, or other known as Rogue.
Yeah, that's
right
me,
there. Rogue. I have to drop this off.
Silly stuff, man.
I have to drop this off with
you
my GoPro.
Club somebody with that.
I know, right?
Nah.
Oh my God. Seriously.
That's what it is.
I blame it on the Chinese tourists. We are in the clear.
We are in the clear.
We are in the clear. I almost took away my clamp.
Yeah,
we made it to the gate.
We had to get a supervisor's permission, but now we have the
Yeah.
microphone clamp and everything's good.
We're good.
Don't hold that like that, so I might think the whole phone's a club now.
I know, right? And if you're not trying to draw attention and you just want to tell your story to your viewer, go with something as simple as this. I know that you can't get the same quality, but at the same time, quality is heavily dependent upon how well you tell your story, because sometimes we watch the ugliest videos but the content's so good, meaning like the story's so good, we keep watching. So I would prefer that you focus on the craft of storytelling and not so much about the gear when you're starting off. I've actually vlogged with a phone and a GoPro. The phone was the main camera and the GoPro was just to catch those wide shots that I really needed and to put it in small places where it's like inconspicuous and stuff. So if you want to see that, go ahead and click on the card up there or wait until the end of this video. I'll put end card so you guys can go watch me vlog at Six Flags. Speaking of GoPro, we're gonna move on to the next thing, which is to use action cameras like the GoPro or the Sony RX0 or the other Sony XF3000 or something like that. I forgot the name. But there are other tools out there aside from your cell phone. With the GoPro, I'm gonna talk about what you'll love, what you'll hate, and what you might wanna debate. So let's talk about the things that you'll love first. What you'll love is that this setup is so lightweight and you can put it anywhere you want. I'm gonna take this off. This is actually another case that I use when I need something more heavy duty than the case that the GoPro supplies you with. Because this one right here does not have any mounting points besides that tripod mounting point. So the first thing you'll love about the GoPro is that it is extremely lightweight and is extremely friendly. You walk around with the GoPro like this, and then you have your, I have a case here on my GoPro 6 that you can attach this, catch that cold shoe right there. Attach that cold shoe to the top of this case right here. You can attach it on top like that, attach this audio adapter here to the GoPro right there, and then you'll be able to start vlogging with a nice setup. The next good thing about the GoPro is that you can swap out all kinds of batteries like this. Unlike your phone, you cannot swap batteries. You just have to plug a battery bank in there, and that becomes extra stuff that you carry around. The other thing that's good about the GoPro is that you can just slap it into one of these, like the Phaetech G6. You can put the GoPro on top of this gimbal right here or mount it onto the gimbal right here. You can get some really nice, smooth looking footage. And I know that the GoPro 7 is supposedly a gimbal killer. It's not the same. It's good, don't get me wrong, it's good, but it's not a gimbal killer. Just trust me on that one. I've tested it, a video is coming soon. So that's another advantage that you'll love about having GoPro. It's so light, it mounts on really fast to a gimbal and you just go with it. The advantage of using the GoPro is also being able to connect to a mobile device like your phone. When you have a phone and you put the GoPro in an angle where you cannot see the back of the GoPro, you use the GoPro connected to any mobile device, and then you can monitor and see exactly what footage and what the image will look like when you shoot. So those are the things that you would love about the GoPro. Now let's go to things that you would probably hate about the GoPro. When you change settings, you have to menu dive, meaning you have to go through a whole bunch of different stuff just to get what you need, like changing the ISO, changing the shutter, everything always has to go through the GoPro menu settings. That is something I wish the GoPro would have just a couple more buttons, maybe just a couple more buttons to change settings. But I get it, it's supposed to be small, it's supposed to be light, it's supposed to go, it's supposed to be easy. It's supposed to just go, right? It's supposed to just go, I get it. So what I talked about earlier was the connectivity to your phone. It can be a blessing and it could be a curse because sometimes your phone does not want to connect to the GoPro and then you have to like turn it off, turn it on, reset everything. Sometimes it's inconsistent with connectivity. When it works, it's great. But when it doesn't work, you have to, like I said, shut off everything and then just do everything all over again. So another thing that you'll also hate about the GoPro is that when you're connected to the phone and then you're monitoring and recording at the same time, because I do that for when I'm training martial arts and I'm sparring with my friends and stuff, we walk around with the gimbal and the GoPro, and then this is mounted on top where I can monitor what we're shooting. It sometimes gets so hot it shuts down. Like the GoPro will overheat and it'll shut itself off. So that's something that you'll probably hate about vlogging with the GoPro, is that if you're stressing it, it will shut off on you. And then the other thing about the GoPro that you'll hate is that it doesn't have interchangeable lenses. Now I know this case has like a lens mount thread here that you can use to mount lenses on here, but it's not recommended. There are other people like, I think Backbone or something like that, that they create these mounts for you. If you send it into their company, they'll change the mount of the GoPro for you to be able to adapt lenses and stuff like that. I mean, if you're gonna do that already, you might as well just go for like the DSLR type stuff. And I know it's more expensive, but you just won't get the same quality. So let's go to talk about things that you can debate about the GoPro. The thing that you can debate about the GoPro first is this: it is the audio adapter. I mean, this thing is like huge. And you can plug it in like that and it'll be fine. I'm not gonna plug it in right now because I don't want to mess up this port. I found that this is more of a hassle than anything else when I'm vlogging with the GoPro. So that's why I just don't use it anymore, because the GoPro 7 audio is pretty good now that I can just keep it close to my face and I can talk to it and I'll get pretty good audio. I'll actually show you a clip here of me walking through snow when it's all windy and all that. And you can just listen for what the audio quality sounds like. This is insane. I don't know why I'm doing this. The wind is blowing so hard. You have no idea. It's like ridiculously tough. All right, let's get to our next location. Woo! We gotta cross this bridge first. Okay, so another thing that you can debate about the GoPro is that it only has a few buttons. I mean, you have a start stop, you have a turn on and off, and then I think that's it. You have 2 buttons. I know earlier I wish there was like maybe another 2 buttons to change ISO and shutter. I think that would be a great addition to the GoPro 8. GoPro people, if you're listening, please. The other thing that's great about the GoPro is the price point for what it does. I think it's good. It's not an amazing price point, but for what the GoPro can do, I think the price point is good. But then again, we can always debate it, right? That's why I'm saying this can be debatable. So if you're curious to see how it's like to vlog with the GoPro 7, literally this is just a setup that I go with. I go with a magnetic mount because you can put it up anywhere and I can put it up in any angle and then it'll shoot me, you know? It's just like be up here like this, or it can be down below like this, or I'll stick it on something that's like metal. Boom, just stick it on there, angle it right, and I can shoot. It's almost like having a second camera person there with me. It's awesome. I love it. I love vlogging with the GoPro. So if you want to see a video of me vlogging with strictly the GoPro, that was it. I didn't take anything else but the GoPro. Click on the card up there, or wait until the end, and I'll put it up on the end card for you to watch. Oh, and it's a video of me at Joshua Tree, by the way. The third tool I want to talk about are camcorders. The one thing that you'll like most about vlogging with a camcorder is the zoom range. Like, this thing can capture all kinds of shots without you having to move up too close, especially if you're in the wild and you go in the wild a lot. I highly recommend this bad boy right here. It doesn't matter which brand you go with, just find one that works for you. For me, I got the Panasonic HCWFX1, and this thing is an awesome camcorder. I use it a lot. And I actually took it to China with me, and Taiwan. And I even took it to Yosemite to vlog. Because the most amazing thing about the camcorder is the zoom range. You cannot beat a camcorder zoom range. I think that is probably the most useful thing when you're out there vlogging. And you know, you want to kind of stay inconspicuous, but at the same time still get your shot. And sometimes you don't have to like walk up close. Like if you have this camera right here, which is your phone, you have to walk up super close just to get your shot. Or you have to zoom in and then get all the ugly pixelation, right? Because it's digital zoom. You'll also like the size. Can't say, you know, it's not too big. It's like a daddy cam. You put your hand strap in there and like, bam, there you go. I highly recommend you find one that has a cold shoe mount already on top. I remember I had to rig something up and it was not fun. The other good thing about vlogging with the camcorder is that it's friendly. People see it, you know, you're walking around like, you know, you're inconspicuous. You're like, oh, I'm doing, you know, daddy cam stuff. And in all honesty, you know, you're vlogging. You know, it's cool. And people aren't as threatened by a small handy cam looking like camcorder. But if you were walking around with something like this, now this is my pro camcorder. You walking around with something like this and then you're trying to vlog to yourself like that. I mean, look at the size of that and look at the size of this. Yes, there are professional ones that you just use for professional work, and there are small ones like this where it actually can be used for professional work, but it also doesn't look so threatening while you're walking around in the street vlogging. It's good. Definitely a viable option for you to walk around and record yourself with the camcorder. And the other thing that I can talk about regarding the camcorder, something that you'll love, is the battery life. I mean, all you need are 2 batteries like this. This one will last you about an hour and a half. This one will last you about 3 hours. It'll last you your whole day of shoot. And I love it because I took this camcorder to Yosemite, did an awesome vlog. If you want to check it out, it'll be on the card up there. Or wait until the end of this video. And then the other thing about this camcorder was it was kind of waterproof. I shouldn't claim this, but I took it to China and I was doing a photo shoot in front of the Shaolin Temple doing my jump sidekick. And I mean, it was coming down and this camcorder withstood it. The only drawback that I had was that the lens got foggy. It's not weather sealed, but I wish there was a camcorder that was weather sealed. There is no such thing. I don't think. Maybe somebody will make it one day. I don't know. But this is, man, I love this camcorder. It works really well. All right, so there's some things that you might hate about the camcorder. What you might hate about the camcorder is that it doesn't offer the best image quality because it has a small sensor. And on top of that, I don't think they focus so much on the color science of the camcorder as much as they do with the phones. I mean, people are just not buying camcorders as much as they used to, but it's still a really viable tool for vlogging because of the zoom range. You'll be able to get shots of stuff that is just super far away without having to do any traveling. The other thing you'll hate about the camcorder is the photo quality. The photo qualities are so sad. Enough said. You don't want to take photos with camcorders unless you have to. You're better off taking photos with your phone. Some things that are debatable about the camcorder are assignable buttons. This one only has like 2, I think 4 or 5, which is definitely better than my phone and better than GoPro, but it just doesn't have enough assignable buttons for me. So that is something is debatable because I would like to be able to change ISO, shutter and everything on the fly with just pushing a button instead of having to like run through some menus just to change those things. I find that to be too cumbersome. So if anybody out there who can make a good consumer level camcorder that'll do that, I think it'll be great. Some things that are debatable is that you need to make sure that you find a camcorder that has an audio input jacks on the outside of the camcorder like this, instead of having the input jack like right here, because when you close the screen door, you're gonna have a hard time with the screen door closing and the audio input jack is like right there where it's blocking the door from closing. If you buy like a $200 to $300 version camcorder, you'll find that can be really annoying when you're trying to add a microphone to your setup. So if you're curious about how I've used this for vlogging, check out the video that I'm linking up there right now, or wait until the end of the video and check out the Yosemite vlog that I did. I used this camcorder and I used the GoPro Hero 6 with a gimbal and of course these little tripods here to capture some awesome images of wildlife, of my friend running. It's awesome. So the last thing we're going to talk about are the DSLR and mirrorless type cameras for vlogging. Those have their love, hates, and debates as well. The first thing you're going to love is that most if you're thinking about it, you're probably going to go for something that has weather sealed. I highly recommend it because it'll take you through rain like mine. I can throw you some B-roll right now while I was walking around in Taiwan. It was awesome. I had my weather sealed lens, I had my weather sealed body, and then it was just like working with me through the rain, no problem. The other thing you'll love is that you're able to change lenses. Like for example, if I need reach, this is 12 to 200 millimeters right here in one lens. If I need those awesome, amazing bokeh shots and stuff like that, I got my 12 millimeter 1.4, and I also have 25 millimeter, which is a 50 millimeter equivalent in terms of full frame, 1.2, and it just does amazing images with like that nice creamy blurry background, which is also something most people love about shooting with a DSLR or mirrorless type camera. The other thing you'll love about vlogging with a SLR type camera is that you are able to get some amazing looking images. Like the quality of the image is so good. It's just so beautiful because it allows, it has bigger sensors and all that, so it allows for a lot of light to be gathered, and the color replications are just so beautiful. Of course, assuming you have really good lenses to go with these cameras. All right, so now let's move on to what you'll hate about recording and vlogging with SLR type cameras. What you're gonna hate is that it has so much weight. It's just, there's so much more weight to carry around. Even with the Micro Four Thirds, I still feel like I have a lot of weight carrying around. Something like this, right? And I vlogged with this before. And I took this to San Francisco with me on a whim. I was flying to San Francisco to watch my wife perform and flew back the same day. It was just because I wanted to surprise her. All right, so I totally got a photo bomber back there. Hey! I'm vlogging for my wife.
Oh, is she in the performance?
She is.
Oh.
And she didn't know that I flew in from Long Beach, California this morning to watch her dance.
Oh my gosh, she's gonna be so excited.
Thank you. It was awesome. I was able to get some amazing bokeh shots and stuff like that. But it was so heavy, it messed up my elbow because I was holding it the whole day and I was like, I don't know how people can do this. It's just so heavy. So it wasn't for me. And then the other thing that could be something you hate is that you have to think so much to just get your shot. There's so many options because when you have low-end gear, you have limited options, which push your creativity more, in my opinion, than to have something that's fancy and then have so many options. You just overwhelm yourself with, oh, how am I going to shoot this? How am I going to do that? When you should just do it. Just do it. I think the number one thing that you'll hate most are missed shots. Because you're like, oh, I got to get that shot, I got to switch lenses, and then you miss the shot. And then the other thing that could probably get annoying is that you're going to be dealing with a lot of people just looking at you weird because you have such a large setup. Some people might be impressed by, oh, that's a nice camera, but most people, when you're walking around, they'll just give you the look and they'll just like try to hide and stuff because it just looks so intimidating. That's something that you'll hate because you won't get the type of friendly reaction with something as small as a GoPro or your phone, right? So that's just something to think about that you might hate. Now let's move into the things that we can debate. Things that we can debate are the costs and the features. There's so much debate about, oh, how much do I pay for this feature? How much do I pay for that feature? The camera is only as good as the person using it. That is just truth. If you have a great camera and you have no skills, you're just not going to be able to do what someone who does have skills and have a nice camera. But if you're just starting off, start with your phone, start with a GoPro, maybe even a small camcorder. Just start. And then create your content that way and grow into your needs. Not so much, oh, I just want it, but I don't know how to use it. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think so. And the other thing that we can debate is that if you don't have a lot of money, it takes you a lot of time to accumulate lenses, microphones, right? Like this. Look at this setup right here. This is just like gigantic. Like trying to build deltoid muscles while vlogging like this. It's just not something I prefer. It's something I do every now and then, but it's not something I prefer. All right, so if you're curious about how I use the SLR type cameras to vlog, there's a video I made when my friend had his soft opening at Pow Wow Pizza in Long Beach, California. Check out that video right here, or wait until the end of the video, and then you will see how I vlogged with just the GH5 and this lens right here, the Panasonic Leica 12mm 1.4. This is not a cheap lens. It is probably the second most expensive prime in the Panasonic Leica lineup. You're probably wondering, what does Mr. Hank prefer to use? Well, what I prefer to use is a combination of all tools because it's situational dependent. If I'm going out vlogging in the wild, this right here for all my zoom needs, and this right here for my super wide shots. I would combine these two together and then get what I need, right? And if I'm looking for that gimbal type shot, I put this right here on the gimbal, or if I'm too lazy to take a gimbal, I just put this right here, use the hyper smooth function. If, let's say I'm going from some artsy looking type vlogs and stuff like that, I would take this one right here and a bunch of different lenses if I'm going for that type of artsy type vlogs. Because I was able to one time shoot through a flying airplane, get the lights of San Francisco, blur them out, look like, I mean, like it's just awesome. It's like, look like a bunch of bokeh balls flying around everywhere. It just looks so artsy. So for me, it's situational dependent. I don't know what tools I'm gonna use. If I'm only allowed, like the Six Flags video I mentioned earlier, I was only allowed this much to take in with me. I was not allowed to take any type of tripod or anything to go with me into Six Flags because they banned those things. And so I just took this and my GoPro, put it in my pocket, and that's what I had to do because I wouldn't be able to get what I needed without a camera to vlog. So I had to do something, I had to ditch this. So it's very situational dependent. So my recommendation for you are a few things, okay? These are my must-have features for me. It might not be for you, but it is for me. Number one, weather seal. I have to have weather seal. It's just something that I need from a camera so that it can keep up with me. And the reason why I chose this GoPro is because it's weatherproof, not weather sealed. Weather sealed means stuff can still get in. This is waterproof. I can throw it in water and not have to worry about it. I mean, of course, there's certain depth levels, but I'm just saying, right? The next thing I need is a wide enough view. My recommendation, and I'm going to talk geek here for a little bit, a 20mm to a 28mm-ish lens or equivalent lens, that look for a vlog is, to me, is perfect. If I'm walking around with something that is wider than 20mm, like most people like to vlog at 16, I've actually vlogged at 14mm equivalent to just see what it's like. And I mean, I catch everything in the background, but what it does is this. Anything that's around like a 14 or 16mm does this to me. It makes my body super big and my head super small because I'm doing this, right? And it just looks weird to me. It's just your head looks so small. I don't know. Maybe you guys might like that. I don't. I prefer a 20mm to a 28mm look. 35 might be a little bit too close for me. I'm sorry for the people who don't know what I'm talking about because that's like talking geek right there. The smaller the number, the wider, the bigger the number, the closer up you can get to your face, if that makes any sense. The number 3 thing I look for is good enough image quality and good enough audio quality. I don't have to have the most amazing images because I prefer to get the shot. If I really was going for image quality, I would take my best cameras, like my GH5 or my 5D Mark III and vlog. But those things are just heavy. Full frame, it's just way too heavy. Micro Four Thirds, I can stand. I mean, I don't want to do it, but I can stand it if I need it. I just like just good enough image quality and sound quality, and I can focus more on my storytelling and not so much the image quality. Because the image quality can be amazing, but if your story's trash, your image is still trash. So that's just how I think. I prefer to tell the story more than to, oh, look how amazing my image is, but my story is boo-boo, it's nothing, you know? Yeah, that's something to think about. The 4th thing I look for is features, like can I shoot time-lapse, can I shoot slow motion? And slow motion is actually shooting higher frame rates. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, just use your phone. Don't bother buying anything, just use your phone. And if you're curious, go ahead and subscribe and you get some more content from me regarding what are frame rates, what are, white balance, how do you do your shutter speed, what is the shutter speed, what does it do, so on and so forth. So subscribe and I'll talk about all the different types of recording features. But for me, I'm just looking for, am I gonna be able to slow-mo it? Am I gonna be able to shoot a time lapse? Because those things will help make my video look more interesting than to just always shoot the plain shots. But the number one thing is composition. Doesn't matter how amazing your slow-mo looks or how amazing other stuff look. Composition, I think, is key. Composition and content. And the fifth thing I look for is stabilization. Is it stable? Meaning, like, is it gonna look like really jittery or good enough where it's not gonna make some people feel sick and not wanna watch it? So that's just me being considerate. No, I don't have a problem with shaky footage, but some people do. So stabilization is the fifth thing, but not the most important thing for me. If you have any questions, leave it down below. Make sure you subscribe. If you found this useful, give it a thumbs up. And I'm gonna leave you guys with a rock, paper, peace. Let's hang out again in the next video.